Stan Fischler has been doing this, observing and writing and commentating about hockey since the early 1950s.
Well, they're on hostile ice, but we've seen the Islanders play excellent hockey here.
He's a historian of the game, but he's lived virtually all of the history of the game, and there isn't a piece of the game that he hasn't been a part of covering.
Born in Brooklyn, a Manhattan resident most of his life, Fischler is as New York as a bagel and cream cheese. And now, at the age of 91, he is still immersed in the sport he loves, covering it on a nearly daily basis. But not from New York.
Israeli Defense Forces have declared a state of alert for war following a surprise attack carried out by Palestinian militants.
We didn't know what was going to be happening in the immediate days. So hockey is the reason why I'm able to keep going. And when it comes to the writing, it's a pleasant challenge.
I'm Stan Fischler. Some people think I'm opinionated. I mean, Patrick Roy's lost it. But I'm just saying what's on my mind. Trade them, get two good guys. And now
known throughout the sport as the hockey maven, Fischler, starting in the early 1970s, became a fixture on game broadcasts in New York.
Wayne Gretzky, guy never stops. He scored the winning goal last night in overtime.
He was on my TV every single night. He just always seemed like hockey royalty, like he was seemingly above every other person on television that was talking about hockey.
That is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I tried to, as much as I could, ad lib. I like to get humor in. I like to be different.
Terrible backhand, but Stan gets it back. He moves in. Lentz fires the wrist shot. Oh, he beats him. And the celebration goes on.
And I like to be hard-nosed where I could with tough questions.
Now let's talk about the McSorley thing. What's your reaction?
My reaction is the same as it was in February.
When Stan interviews you, he doesn't ignore the issues or the tough questions, but he does it in a way that's conversational and comes from a base of extraordinary knowledge.
A New York icon, a guy that was really kind of getting under the covers of the players and really exposing them who they were as people. He was cutting edge for sure.
But Fischler has been more than a TV announcer, much more. He's authored 99 books, not to mention thousands of columns and game stories and features. Perhaps no one, anywhere, ever has written more words on the subject of ice hockey.
There's the great one, everybody knows what that is, and there's only one hockey maven.
December 7th, the first night of Hanukkah.
I was raised in a Jewish home where we observed all the high holy days. And of course we do the Hanukkah lighting of the candles, which is, ever since I was a kid, this was just a special thing. And the Hanukkah menorah is something special for us Jews. It's symbolic. It's togetherness for us.
Since 2019, Fischler has lived here, 6,000 miles from New York, in a kibbutz in the Golan Heights, a 3-hour drive north of Jerusalem.
The kibbutz is like a hamlet. I can't guess how many people here, but there's not a lot. I tell people that where we live is it's like the Jewish Montana.
Fischler moved here a few years after the death of his wife Shirley, his frequent literary collaborator and a groundbreaking journalist herself. After Shirley died, Fischler wanted to be closer to his son Simon, Simon's Israeli wife, and his grandchildren.
We have a very close relationship, my father and I, and the kids have a very close relationship. When Saba spoke, when Granddad spoke, They knew to listen, and they learned so much from him.
I'm energized by hockey. I'm energized by family. I'm basically able to do the things that I like to do.
And then, October 7th.
Stunning developments in Israel. Palestinian militants fired thousands of rockets in a surprise assault.
It was scary, and it was a combination of shock, frightened.
The worst attack on Israel in 50 years.
Actually seen it happen in real time. It was traumatic on a scale that it's very hard to put into words.
The Fischler home isn't far from Syria and Lebanon, and missile attacks are a constant threat.
This is the safe room. Until we had to use it as a safe room, it was basically my granddaughter Abigail's bedroom. When the war began, we got a siren in the evening, the first evening. And we stayed here for about, I would say, about an hour. I feel that this is sort of our sanctuary.
Every day that he's able, Fischler bikes through the neighborhood. But much has changed since October 7th.
It's the aura is totally different, but the togetherness is much more intense. For example, the entrance to the kibbutz, there are members, IDF, the soldiers were there. You doing okay?
Yeah, everything is quiet till now.
We watched the news much more intensely than we normally would have. So you have to adjust to your surroundings.
10 seconds in, delay penalty, Holmstrom scores! Wow!
Until this war, Fischler's readers might have assumed he was still covering the NHL from the press box at UBS Arena, which was named after him in 2022, 3 years after he left the U.S. But encouraged by his editors, Fischler has now written several columns about what he's now experiencing.
The reaction surprised me, really surprised me. I did 4. Now, I have not done one since the 4th one, because I'm not sure what I want to write about now.
What do you tell people now, Stan, when they ask you back here in the U.S. what life is like in Israel now?
I tell them it's challenging. It's very challenging. When I do a prayer, my morning prayer, it ends with, "This is the day God has made. Enjoy and make the best of it." Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu.
For Stan Fischler, hockey continues to be at the center of everything he does, regardless of where he happens to be.
Here's Barzell, coming late, gets a return feed, they score! Matt Barzell!
Everything he does comes from his heart. There's an emotional attachment that he has that I think is absolutely extraordinary and perhaps unrivaled.
Hockey has been a savior in a heck of a lot of ways. Hockey is what's keeping me vibrant.